Hey everybody, it's Hussein Kabani, your favorite broker, and I'm back with another market update. So we're basically at January 29th, 2025. So not quite at the end of the month, but we're close enough to do a little reporting over here. It's kind of going the same way as I suspected at the beginning of the year. I thought it was going to kind of follow a normal seasonality for this month as well. And we kind of already knew that the sales were going to be lower compared to last year in January of 2024. So basically, when we look at inventory right now, this year so far, the inventory has come up by just under 16%, which is 2,350 units that has come up. But even if we compare it back to last year, we still actually have 46% more inventory than we did last year at this time right now, which is about 5,500 units. So a lot more inventory than last year. In terms of sales right now, what we're seeing is that we are starting to pick up week over week in terms of number of sales. But if I look at a year to date, we're actually down. We're down about 17.6% in sales. And this is something I was calling at the beginning of the month, that we would probably be down somewhere between 15 and 20% in terms of sales. And we're kind of right in that middle number over there. So I wouldn't be surprised if it still shakes out to be somewhere about 15%. The biggest segment that's actually down is probably not a big surprise, 416 condos. So they're down about 25% in terms of sales compared to last year so far. For price, we're seeing price start to come up just over last week versus this week. We saw the price come up slightly, about 3%. But when I still look at it overall, we're still kind of down compared to last year, but not much. We're pretty much flat at this point right now. And today was also a day that we had the Bank of Canada drop the interest rate by another quarter point. It is something that we were expecting. I don't think a lot of people were expecting it to go to another half, but we did see that in another quarter point. I'm not even sure that that quarter point is really going to help fuel the housing market at this point right now. I think that there is enough demand. We've actually seen it over the past week or so. So the end of January, we see that there is increasing demand. So we're seeing more people contact us about buying and selling real estate, and more people just generally have questions. So I don't think that that interest rate is going to affect anyone. Likely what it's going to end up doing is probably going to give the buyers a little bit more confidence. They already have that confidence, but I think it's going to give them a little bit more confidence by saying, hey, definitely the rates are looking like they're going to stay down longer. I personally think that they probably preempted this rate decrease right now. Try to probably offset if Trump brings forward the tariffs, because that was delayed to Feb 1. I mean, they could still further get delayed, or they could implement them, or they can implement them by categories of their choosing. But I mean, I think that's something that a reason why they brought down the rate right now. The other thing also is that we saw inflation actually kind of come down from I believe 1.9 to 1.8. But then there's reports out there that said if you add back the HST holiday into it, the inflation probably would have been 2.3, 2.2, 2.3%. So probably they've brought down the interest rate for that reason as well. Like I said, overall, I don't think it's going to drive the market. I think that people that are looking to move forward in this market starting in February, right now the sentiment is that it seems like it might be getting a little bit more competitive for buyers. Granted that the inventory is 17% higher than it was last year, and the inventory is increasing. I believe that it's increasing at a good pace right now. Even if we looked at it from first week to second week and the second week to third week, the first week we didn't have much increase, then we had 9%, then 7%, and now we kind of dropped down to a 3% increase. So the inventory is starting to steady off. But I think that if you're looking to do something this year so far, I think the buyers will start to have to become a little bit more careful. I've been seeing more and more listings right now that are going over asking. It's kind of happened to us on a listing that we had in Ajax. We priced it competitively at $699. We did lowball it too, I would say, but we got more, I would say, than we were expecting to get for that property at that time. And then there was another one that we had in downtown Toronto, or Etobicoke, let's call it. This unit, we had listed it for a bit. We did some price reductions, and then finally I just said, okay, it's not getting any movement at $649. Let's try a strategy, change a couple of things, lower the price to $588, and boom, right away we got an offer for $635. Even when we were listed at $649, we were willing to take the $635. But you see, this is back in the buyer's mind now. So now moving forward, am I going to be pricing all my listings lower just to get that buyer buy-in? It might be a strategy that we do. I mean, we have a condo right now that's listed in Pickering. great condo. It's priced really, really well, but we're just not getting that activity right now. So maybe the buyer sentiment is that if I knock this condo down, $75,000, I might be able to get it bid up by another $50,000 or $60,000 and land where we need to be. So I do think that for buyers, we might start to see a little bit more of this. And also for sellers, I think that we are going to get more buyers out there, so we might end up in multiple offer situations. I don't know how much the price is going to still increase. I'm still kind of skeptical about that. Also because inventory is going to increase some more as well. Now, this is a question, like, are we seeing this kind of spur at the beginning of the market and then we'll see it kind of even out? I mean, we saw that last year, right? So we saw it at the end of December, it lit up, it kind of continued into January and February, and then middle of March, it was kind of dying down. So was that the spring market that we saw earlier last year lead into the beginning of the year? So are we seeing that happen now? So are we going to see it kind of in February, March, and see it kind of die down again in April, May? But the other suggestion I would also have still is that we do get a call from a lot of people that are buyer and seller. So they have a property that they need to sell in order to do their buy. And I always suggest to them is that, hey, why don't we go out and look at, 6, 8 houses first? And then if you like most of those houses, then we could probably focus on the listing. And if you don't like what you see, then we got to start focusing on the buy, but still prepare the listing. So when we do buy something, we're ready to list the property. So I think that as the market is changing, our strategies are changing, we're staying on top of it. And I think that we'll probably see this market pick up a little bit more coming into February and March. If you guys are interested in discussing your specific real estate needs, we are actually booking real estate checkups. The link is going to be below for my calendar. Click on that. I can set up a quick 15-30 minute call with you. We can understand what your situation is, and I can give you my suggestion on moving forward based on how the market is. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you haven't, I'd still appreciate it. If you guys can all subscribe and like this post and share it with your friends. Until next time, guys, remember one thing: get Cabani, get sold.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.